Hey, everybody, and welcome back again to another episode of the Wish You Were Beer Show. This is a weekly live beer review show that we do every Thursday night here through YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We do it at 8 p.m. Eastern every Thursday. Should be really easy to remember because it's one night and one act. Like, come on, don't make up stories. That being said, we appreciate you guys stopping by. If you do us a favor right off of the bat, if you go into the About section on the page here, if you're on YouTube or on Facebook or anywhere else, make sure you click the like button. If you're through YouTube, make sure you click the subscribe button. That would be great. You can also go through all our individual social medias as well. So follow us on Twitter, like I said, Instagram. I think we have a Facebook, but that's mainly just so my grandparents know I'm alive. Oh, never mind. They're dead. I got to worry about that anymore. I forgot all about that. No, but that being said, make sure you follow us on all the individual social medias as well so you can keep up with us on our beer travels, so to speak, not just the live show. Also, down in the About section, you can follow all of our sort of sponsored links. So we've got all our individual Untaps. We've got the show Untappd, which is the social media app that we use to check in and track all of our beers. We also have a couple of links for things like Beer Drop or Tavor, which are beer subscription services that we use as well to get some of our beers when we're not trading beers.
Purchasing them,
yes,
at various locations.
I think that's completely fair.
You've just been driving a lot. You drive all over the country, pick up a few beers.
I do a lot of driving, you know this. Yeah. So thanks everybody for stopping by, and like I said, make sure you like and subscribe. Pass this along to your friends if you know anybody that likes beer or is getting into beer or wants to talk about beer. Also, if you're logged into YouTube or Twitter or Facebook, you can comment along in the comment section.
Not Twitter, just Facebook and YouTube.
No, I think you can do it through Twitter too. I was on somebody else's page, and I thought that was an option.
Someone quick, if you're on Twitter, test.
Someone on Twitter.
Leave a comment on this. We'll see if it comes through.
Yeah, right. But that being said, as always, if you're unfamiliar with the show, I'm Daniel. This is Tiffany. The beautiful bearded man across the street is Phil.
I haven't said that in a while.
I know. And by across the street, you're still in St. Martin, correct?
Yes, I'm currently in St. Martin. Right now, I'm on the Dutch side of St. Martin. I got less than 1 month left.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. How far in are you?
Yeah, it's getting crazy. I can't believe that I've been here for 2 months already. I got 1 month left, and it's been crazy. It's been good. You know what? I said I was going to get darker throughout every episode, but I think I got to get back out in that sun.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're wearing a sweatshirt like an idiot, and no wonder you're not getting darker, Phil. What are you sweating it down?
I'll get into the sweatshirt later. It's part of my Wish You Were Beer.
Okay.
But
I forgot about that.
This week, so I went to a brewery today because there's this little brewery. I was over on the French side of the island, and I've stopped in at this brewery like 3 times, and it's always at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 4, and they're like, oh, we're not open. I'm always like, when are you open? What's going on here? They're like, oh, we're open from like 10 to 2 and then like 6 to like 10. I'm like, okay. Yeah. And so I was like, today I was there and I was in the area and I looked it up and it was open. And I was like, I'm going here. I'm going to try their beers. This is going to be great. I started shooting some video because I wanted to share it with y'all. I get in. I'm like, what beers you got today? The guy goes, wheat beer. And I go, got anything else? And he goes, no. And I was like, you got 1 beer?
You're open for 1.5 hours a day and you have 1 damn beer?
They have 1 beer. So apparently they only make 3, but right now they just have the wheat beer, and there was literally 2 in the refrigerator, and then all the other beers were just your standard like Coronas and all that sort of thing. So I was like, what is this brewery? And so I stopped filming because I was like, I'm not.
This isn't
a brewery. This isn't a brewery.
You guys aren't a brewery. You're a really shitty bar.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, pretty much.
Did Gabriel change his photo?
Gabriel changed his little avatar there.
Oh, I'm a little upset about it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Now he's like the bounty man.
Yeah, sort of. I don't know what that is.
I feel about it.
I don't know which one was worse. Actually, I think you may have taken a step down, Gabriel. I don't know.
But sorry, I'm going to keep talking because I went to a grocery store on the French side, found a ton of beers I've never seen, never heard of, because these things got shipped in from Europe. This one I thought was really cool. I loved this artwork. It's called Curve de Troll.
Okay.
And it's just like a goofy little troll.
So Curve of the Troll. Okay.
Yeah. It's apparently, let's see, I brought in this website. So it's a Belgian beer.
Okay.
It's Cuvée.
Yeah, I do like their little hop troll. That's kind of fun.
Yeah. So they, this is the Cuvée de Troll Triple.
Okay.
So I'm going to try this tonight, and I'm very excited. And one of the reasons I picked this one out was because when I was at the store, like, it's like that after work hour. So like everyone kept coming in and going right to the beer fridge. And one guy walked in and then like picked up like 4 of these. And I was like, oh, this guy loves this beer. So like, I'm going to follow along. So I grabbed it as well. And it's, let's see, I have one other thing about it. So this is brewed in Belgium. It's unfiltered blonde beer with natural cloud. The beer is produced using only yeast, malt, hop, sugar, and water. 7%er. And they use dried orange peel during the boiling process to give it some fruity aromas. Yeah, so I'm excited about it.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be bad at all.
No.
It's weird that it's a triple and it's
a triple blonde.
Yeah, I know, but still, like every time I'm always thinking like a Belgian triple or like a Belgian quad. I'm like, got to be more than 7.
So
hold on,
off to a great start.
Cool story, bro.
Cool story, bro.
Yeah.
God, nothing makes me happier.
How dare I try to share something and share some details?
It really is
do that on this show.
You try to work above your pay grade.
I know. Well, now my floor is going to smell like beer.
Oh,
so
Phil,
exciting.
by the way, there was also a comment here on the way in from Andy, and I agree. Everybody wants the apartment tour before you leave this compound.
Okay. I will. I'll shoot one.
Yep.
And I'll talk really quiet and confused, and I'll shoot one and show everyone this is where I am.
We'll do a 24.
That's a good idea. Thanks, Andrew.
We'll do a 24 episode where we've got to come get you in 24 hours. Yep. We'll see if we can't get Kiefer Sutherland on. I doubt it.
I don't know what he's up to these days.
I give you a hint. Not much. All right. I'm interested to see what you think of this one.
Oh, wow. It's really good.
Is it?
Yeah. It's definitely like a nice blonde, but it's super, like the triple kind of gives it like, it's got the strength in it, which is really nice. The orange peel is there.
Get a lot of orange out of it.
Better or worse than a Rude Boy?
Oh,
well, not. I mean, you can't. There's no comparison.
That's apples and oranges.
Nothing better than a Rude Boy.
Yeah, not a Rude Boy premium.
You do get a lot of the citrus, but it's subtly citrus because I think they just use the peel, so it gives it that just kind of
subtly citrus or subtly citrus. Sounds like the best orange juice brand. Like
suddenly citrus. Yeah, so it's good. It's not juicy. It's citrusy though. It's really nice. That's a really nice beer. Yeah, I'm gonna have that one again.
Well, I'm proud you've been down there for 2 months and finally found a worth of shit beer. I'm really impressed.
Yeah.
You know what? Don't lie. It's more fun when I bring on the weird shit I find here than.
I do enjoy that end of things as well,
that
for
is
sure.
A spider and it's hanging.
There is a spider hanging behind the computer, like from the ceiling. God. It's shit nightmares are made.
It's fine. Everyone's fine.
I love it.
Keep an eye on it.
Gonna go to sleep later with my mouth open and hope we find him.
Oh, he's going back up.
Oh my god.
That's like, you put it in my beer.
Got him.
God, no, you didn't. It's right here. I can see him.
Well done, Daniel.
Now Tiffany has something to watch the rest of the show. If you see her just looking over, it's the tiniest spider in the history of house spiders.
Yeah, but it's
so what else?
I found my wish you were beer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you brought that up earlier, did you hear her? She's like, oh yeah, that.
Oh yeah, I gotta remember that.
Yeah, I remember now.
Well, tonight we got a pretty exciting night. I'm not gonna lie.
Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm very excited.
That was kind of droll for excitement.
Well, it's the excitement's internal because I'm
Oh.
holding it all in.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty excited about tonight's show.
Yeah, I am as well, actually.
Yeah, I'm shocked about this one, and I'm excited.
Okay.
I'm just gonna attempt to kill this.
Just
Oh god, it's moving.
just stop.
Stop it! Stop it! Oh, gross!
It's dead. There, the spider is dead. Everyone. Sorry.
That's our spider podcast on
Yeah.
Fridays.
Sometimes it's on
6.
Fridays, but if you subscribe, you'll get a light sense of when it happens. See what I did there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So let's talk about it. What are we doing tonight, Phil?
Tonight we are doing Past and Present by Other Half Brewing, and this is the Export Stout version.
Yes.
I'm thrilled. I love a good Export Stout. I love Other Half.
Yep.
So double whammy for me on this one.
Yeah, and it's funny because we were talking to some friends of ours in the area here who are in the beer industry, and we were talking about this show getting ready to be on, and they're like, "Oh, who do you have on this week?" And I was like, "Oh, we've got Other Half coming on. I'm pretty sure they're going to join us." And she goes, "Oh, they're kind of a big deal."
Yeah.
And I was like, "I mean, yeah."
I mean,
They're
so was
huge.
the mallet, and he joined us.
That was different.
I have no idea. Bells was like, "Yeah, we'll send John Mallet. It's no big deal." I was like, "Does this man not have anything better to do?"
I think it was actual like company punishment. Like he messed up
Oh, that
somewhere,
makes
and they're
sense.
like, "I tell you what, you're going on any podcast that requests it."
Yeah.
Son of a
I
bitch.
I think he went on one and then he was just hooked on them. And so he just agreed to every one of them.
All he does now.
That's
Yeah.
also possible.
All right,
Yeah.
so we're excited because we actually have somebody from the brewery. His name's Andrew Berman. We're going to run a quick promo video, but this is your cue, Andrew, that you're going to be on here very shortly.
All right.
All right, here we go. Phil, you play such beautiful guitar.
Yeah.
And anytime we're worried that Phil's going to be the only person in captivity, Andrew comes on. Nah. So Andrew, you're muted, man. Why don't you come on in and say hello?
How are you guys doing?
Hey, doing well, man. How about yourself?
Good. I'm okay. I'm just running around. I'm in between breweries right now. I had to go down to Philly to check out some of the production we're doing down there, and then I'm headed back up to New York. I have a newborn at home, so I'm not really I can't really spend the night out too much. So I gotta come
fair
back
enough.
tonight and then back to the brewery tomorrow.
Well, very cool, man. Well, I appreciate you joining us regardless of like your intense schedule there. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually love doing this stuff. This is one of the better parts of the job. Better than critiquing why this batch is not as good as the other batch is always a Sisyphusian task.
Yep. It's funny though because I think people outside of the beer world would probably think that's the better portion of the job, like getting to know it, being like the purveyor of all that is taste testing.
Yeah, it's an interesting process. It's fun trying to taste all the beers, and we have a great team that does it all. But coming down to different locations and seeing different brewing processes and, really trying to streamline it and make it similar across locations, but also celebrating the differences. So it's definitely, it's not something we set out 7 years ago being like, oh, we should open up 7 breweries and make them all make different stuff and make it all taste really good. It'll be great, right?
Well, I have to say, I think you guys have been pretty successful at it so far. So whatever
Yeah.
you're doing, I think you're doing it right.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah. We were at.
Let's not get out of hand. I haven't tried the beer yet.
We've
I mean-
tried plenty of
No,
different.
just
At Precarious's field days, they did this last summer.
Yeah.
That we were there and did some other social media stuff for them. Y'all were there.
Yep.
And I remember because we had the VIP media tickets, and I was like, "All right, we got our wristbands. Like we got to head over to the other half." And I forget what you guys were pouring, but I mean, it didn't disappoint by any means. It might have been a sour or something.
Don't just guess.
I can't
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah.
I drank a lot that day, so you were the first stop. So that means that my palate hadn't been
Correct.
ruined yet, which is always good.
Yeah. I'm sure it hasn't been ruined by how many Thursday nights already. I'm sure.
True story.
I mean-
yeah, true story.
I specifically tell people not to count the amount of beers I have checked in on Untappd versus how long I've had Untappd.
For
It's kind
a
of
reason.
not a good look, especially if an employer was to look at that. But yeah, I think my palate's doing all right still.
Okay.
We'll see.
So,
Oh.
Andrew, tell us about what you do at the brewery, because I like to think you're probably not just a delivery guy driving down to Philly and back.
I definitely did bring some stuff from the brewery down today, but that missed the truck. But I do operations, so anything that happens day to day, and the planning of future things. So all the openings, making sure beer goes from my job basically is anything, getting all procurement and getting everything to the brewery, and then making sure that it gets to the proper place. And then once it hits the brewers, I don't touch it for about 2 weeks, and then once it gets into a can, it's under my department again. I run the tap rooms, the food programs now, deliveries. I do lots. I just make sure my job is to make sure everybody else is doing their job a little bit, which is fun and incredibly stressful. So
I was gonna say, yeah, anytime you're in the business of people management on top of just regular any other style of work, that can be a headache.
yeah.
Well, and I feel like you really sold yourself short. You're one of the 3 founders.
I am one of the 3 founders. Yes.
Yeah.
But that's why when you said delivery, I was like, that's how I actually started. I was a chef before this, and then me, Matt, and Sam and Matt would brew the beer, and I'd go deliver it, and it was that was actually the most fun. I think that was delivering and doing that stuff where we had that initial groundswell, and we were the faces of the business, and we were the people delivering the beer and making the beer and serving the beer. It was fun, and it's been a struggle because I'm not a trained COO. I'm not a trained manager of a company of 150 people, but it's been a really fun process, and hiring great people around me and around our staff has been really rewarding. I think it's been the most fun part of it. Just growing the business and seeing what other people can do with something you created.
If you want some pro bono consulting, let me know.
No, your fee is through the damn roof.
I know my fee. That's why I said pro bono.
She said pro bono.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I actually have
Pro
a question
Bureau.
for you from Andy, who's watching. He wants to know what the biggest thing is that you look for when walking into a brewery. Like, what's the most common or most likely operational issues that you see either in the industry or in your own in-house, so to speak?
I think it's the change in which has happened since COVID, which is, we were allowed to be a little gruff in Brooklyn. We were allowed to be, when we had a 100 square foot tap room. I don't know if you guys ever went there, and it was like, on Center Street, and it was in a, it seemed like a desolate area, and seemed like you were across the street from McDonald's and underneath the BQE. We had a little bit of leeway. People came in, and you could be a little gruff, and people didn't know all the beers, and it was a little bit more Brooklyn. Now that we're in more locations, when you walk into them, it's it's having that smile and having people coming in, and we're experts in beers, so to say, but we also want people to feel like they can come in and have a great time, whether they it's their first check-in or their 5,000th check-in. And I think that's one of the hardest things that we've come across, but also something that I look for when I come in is just the overall feeling of the staff, the overall feeling of the customers coming in, that energy, and that's really one of the hardest things that we've had to get back since COVID, because of that. You couldn't get gatherings, you couldn't have people together, and it was just really hard. And we're just getting back in Philly and in Finger Lakes and DC, where to have a little bit more of that energy, but it's still coming back in New York a little bit. So
yeah, that makes
that's
sense.
what I look for.
And Vero, who's in New York, this is senior procurement beer officer for the show here. She wants to know that how easy or difficult was it to open at the Rock Center in New York?
Rock Center was a really interesting process. Our landlords, Tishman Spires, were really into us, and we were really going full steam. And then COVID hit, and then they did no more leasing, and they did nothing for about 6 to 9 months, and then we resurrected it, and then they had a little bit different asks, but it was a really good process. Obviously, it's never perfect, but it was a great process with them. But it's all been worth it to be part of something that Tishman's doing at Rockefeller Center, which is bringing about great visibility into some great chefs, some great drinking establishments. It's just really cool to be part of a team, and like just an insular being in part of Rockefeller Center gives you this amazing street cred. But then also when you turn inside, it has some amazing people in it and that are really supportive and really into what we do. So it's been good. It was difficult, but it was by far not the worst build out we've had.
Yeah,
if it's not a brewery, it's super easy to build.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you mentioned the staff there being great. Vero concurs. So she said it's always packed, and that the people you guys have working there are fantastic. So kind of back to that piece about what you want to see when you're walking into a brewery. Obviously, at least at that location, you've nailed it.
Well, I appreciate the comments. Thanks, Vera.
So let's get into what originally was a section or a portion of the show. I think we called it History and Facts. But we just love that sound clip, so it's just not History and Facts anymore. This is basically the portion of the show where we're actually going to take the opportunity to do a little bit of trivia. Sometimes it's about the brewery specifically. Sometimes it's about the beer, the style of beer. Sometimes it may end up being about where Andrew Berman grew up at. I don't know because I don't get to see the questions. So that being said, let's get into question number 1.
All right. When New York City first passed the Craft New York Act law, in 2014, which gave breweries the ability to sell cans and bottles versus growlers directly to the consumers, how long was the wait outside of other half's location? A, 1 hour, 15 minutes, B, 3 hours, C, 5 hours, or D, over 8 hours?
I want this, and again, Andrew, I'm going to answer, and Phil's going to take a swing, and we'll give a little bit of time for the constituency here to the peanut gallery, as we say. No, but I want this to be D so bad. I want it to be like people just skip work and holy shit, we can get a beer, canned beer from a brewery. I got to wait this one out.
It's crazy to think about that being something that wasn't allowed.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it, but it's what? I just can't imagine that world anymore.
I know. I waited overnight for SNL tickets when I lived in New York City, and nowadays I can't imagine waiting more than 3 minutes for something.
I'm gonna go with D as well because I'm sticking to the usual. When we have a guest on, it would be weird to do one that was less than the most.
What if it was 1 hour and 15 minutes?
It's 1 hour and 15 minutes. Oh, great. Good for you. So I'm going with D on this one. Andrew, tell us the answer to this one.
I believe it's C.
No.
But it really depends on the day.
Yes. I love it when the person from the brewery gets
He's in a car. I'm going to give him a pass. No. So, and this is, potentially, obviously something that...
this is off your direct Wikipedia.
No. So,
I don't have a Wikipedia. I don't know how you get a Wikipedia. I really want one.
I'll set you up one, Andrew.
Treehouse has one.
You can
Treehouse.
Everybody's got one except for us. But whatever. I'm not making my own. I feel like that's braggadocious. I'm sorry.
All right. Anyone out there with the beer world want to make a Wikipedia page for other half? Go for it.
We're gonna do it.
Oh, I got it. There's gonna be some real big misconceptions.
Oh no.
Okay.
But anyway, so.
They really exploded after doing the Wish You Were Beer show. That's what I was gonna say.
I love it. All right, give me the answer.
Okay, so the Times apparently ran a story.
The New York Times?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Times.
Holy shit.
They ran a story that some people had waited 11 hours once you guys opened for all of this. which is insane. Having like, I don't know, maybe I'm just a giant baby, but I'm like, I gotta wait like 30 minutes to like eat. Like if I'm like at like a restaurant and they're like, oh, it's like a 30-minute wait, I'm like, it's fine. I'm not even that hungry anymore. Like I'm not a waiter. I'm not a line person. I will purchase the fast passes at Disneyland. Like I'm just not interested.
Fair.
So the whole like thing on lines is crazy to me, and to think that people will like camp out for them, like with Duke basketball, like kids are camping out in like the field for days, weeks.
They're college kids.
Yeah, man, I don't know. Even when I was in college, like I was like, I'm good.
Okay.
Anyway,
you are.
I'm with you.
Yeah, 11 hours. 11 hours.
So the answer is 11 hours.
Yeah, so it was D.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
there was some times when that would happen. I think it was it's funny that we were known for lines, but one of my biggest pet peeves was having lines. I was like, guys, if they're in line, they're not buying beer. They're just waiting to buy beer. We don't make money off of them.
This
And
is
they're
true.
like, I don't get that. I'm like, guys, come on. Yeah, that was the pre-COVID days.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I can imagine that was a whole different animal, but yeah, 11 hours is pretty nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 2014.
Speaks volumes, though.
Yeah. And I mean, isn't there a thing about like if you see a line, you just get in it and you're like, what are you
That's
guys
true.
waiting for?
No.
I will say there was one time I've never felt worse. We had a line, it was pretty long, and there was a very old Chinese guy, and he got in line, spoke no English, and just got in line.
See?
And he thought it was like the housing authority, and he waited 4 hours and got to the front of the line, and we're all staring at him like, what beer do you want? He's like, just hands us a piece of paper, and he's like, where do I like pay my gas bill? And we're like, what is going on? We're like, this is not the right place. And we felt so bad.
Surely you just gave that man a beer, took his paperwork, and went and paid his gas bill.
We did give him a 4-pack. We're like, I don't know what to tell you, brother. Just here you go.
If there's anyone who needs a beer, it's that guy.
Yeah, true story. All right, question 2.
All right. Other half is mostly known for what beer style? IPAs, pales, stouts, or others?
I mean, we're having the Export Stout, but I can't make the assumption that this is what they're known for.
Yeah. From the timing of when they kind of came around.
2014. Yeah,
I'm going to go with the IPA on this one because that's kind of started skyrocketing right around then.
Yeah. Well,
IPA.
Vero also says IPA, which means you are both correct, which means I'll go with pale ales just to maintain the consistency of how the show works where I'm an idiot.
Okay.
So what do you guys make, Andrew?
IPAs is what we're known for.
I love it.
Yeah.
Is that why you asked on the pre-show little talk we had why we picked this beer?
I was just surprised why you picked that one. That was actually like the Export Stout was one of those things where like I guess we should make one, and we're like, and I'm just surprised that you guys you picked it out. I'm happy you did. It was one of our favorite beers, and it actually sold pretty well in the tap room. So it was nice to have some variety.
Nice.
Because we still do make 60% IPAs.
I'm for it.
Something like that.
Yeah, I want to say I probably had mostly IPAs from you guys, so
yeah.
I was excited to do something different as well.
I've had 60% of your IPAs.
I was gonna say, so by 2016, so 2 years after being founded, 85% of the beers were IPAs.
Nice.
Which is
you can find this information on the Wikipedia, Andrew, once we get it up and running.
Man, I'm gonna hold you to this.
But you guys like kind of defined the double dry hopping like phenomenon, which is super cool. And apparently you guys then went from the double dry hop to the high density hop charge, or the HDHC, which is also like setting like new bars for IPAs. So, I mean, you guys have been the like IPA trailblazers more or less since opening, which is like super cool.
Yeah, I think that the DDH we did a collab with Trillium, and they were starting on it, and we were trying to figure out what to do, and then it's just been an interesting process. The problem is we do think it's a little bit of an arms race. Like there is a diminishing return.
Yep.
We did put like 14 pounds of hops in a beer, and we're like, yeah, we got like no yield off this, and every beer tastes like hops, like in a bad way. And we definitely tone it down, and we're trying to make just the best rendition of each beer that we think it is. So if Nelson is better at 5 pounds per barrel, it's what it should be. And we whether it's double dry hops or triple or whatever it is, we want to make sure that beer is representative of the ingredients that are in it in a way.
Yeah, and I think that's there's been a couple of the folks we've had on the show who have mentioned somewhat of that same school of thought. Is I'm not trying to be crazy. I'm not trying to do this. I want to make the best version of what this beer should be, based off its ingredients, which is
and it's hard. We're getting into with 3 or 4 different breweries. Like some systems need a little bit more, some systems need a little bit less. Then also, what is like the best amount of Nelson in a beer, and what is the best amount of Mosaic Incognito compared to Mosaic Cryo compared to Mosaic Pellets.
Right.
And so there's a lot of innovation just in between, like even small batches of beers that a customer really wouldn't know, but we're trying to like tweak and get better and always figure out what's the next thing coming.
Within your IPA world, do you guys use a lot of like the ready to use like hop pellets versus whole hops versus
we don't
right.
So we don't use any whole cone. It's just they're hard to use, and our systems aren't built for that. We use probably percentage-wise, probably use like 50% pellets, and then we use probably 25% cryo. It's hard because the weights and the weights are all different, stuff like that. But then we use the Incognito, which is like basically the hop oil as well. And then we have probably a couple other products that we're working on and new things that are coming through. So there's always something new.
I think you're getting the rainstorm that we had earlier.
Yeah.
I tried to pull over and I did, and I'm like, I should go pull over in the garage or something.
No, you're fine, man. You're fine.
It's good.
So, all right, well, let's get into question number 3.
Yeah.
Wait, does that mean I need to drink the beer, or do I have to wait till after question 3?
Wait till after 3. It's a quick one.
God damn it.
Okay. Is it true or false?
All right. True or false, the past and present beer variety is specifically geared towards stout variations.
I'm going to say true before Vero answers.
Okay.
I'm going to say false before Vero answers.
God.
Because I think past and present seems too generic to me. It seems not generic in the word, but it just seems like something you're talking about a history of a beer. I'm assuming that it means they've done different versions that are all the past and present.
Man, I suck at this game.
Gotta just read the name.
Yeah.
I can't.
No, it is false. So the past and present was an opportunity. Well, I don't know if it's still pouring. I can.
No, he's not
pouring.
Okay.
That's good.
Should we go?
No.
Answer this? I know the answer.
I know the answer.
Tell us, Andrew. What's the answer?
It's innovative sort of renditions of beers, recipes, or sort of styles that aren't necessarily in the popular culture as in now. So basically, export stouts and Irish stouts and what else have we done? Like West Coast pale ales and things like that. Like just beers that we liked. And I assume you guys are in similar age than I am, that stuff that we might have grown up drinking or drink 20 years ago, or even people that are older, that fell out of style. And since with this huge IPA push, we sort of try to bring back things a little bit.
I dig it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Daniel, you can open up the beer now.
Well, for those of you not familiar with the show, now that we're a couple questions into trivia, we're going to go ahead and crack this beer, so that we can get started trying it a little bit before we actually go to the review of it. So tonight, again, we're trying Past and Present by Other Half Brewing, which is an export stout. So we're going to crack the beer and pour it and get drinking it while we go to question 4. And it has a blue top.
I just want to say I love that this has a blue pop top. That's all.
That is all.
All right. So
the blue top makes. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Every brewery has a different. Every brewery we have has a different coloring. So the blue is from Finger Lakes. That beer was actually brewed in Finger Lakes.
Nice.
Oh.
Green is DC. Brooklyn's black, and we have no idea what color Philly will be. But every brewery has a different color.
I think you should go with either
Red.
orange or pink.
I would think red for Philly, but that's just me.
Yeah, I was gonna say
No.
Philly red.
That reddish orange. That reddish
Yeah,
orange.
Yeah, you kind of got it. All right, Tiffany, what's this next question?
She's pouring. I got you.
What is the purpose of the Sabro hops in this export stout? Select all that apply: aroma, fruity flavors, citrus flavors, bitterness, or other.
Oh, I am so bad at these, more than I am bad at regular trivia.
Also, I gotta show everyone my cool cup.
Also, Vero says you should make the tabs yellow for the Wish You Were Beer show. Because again, this is where you take off, according to your Wikipedia page.
Look at my new cup. It's a mushroom.
Anyway, Tiffany bought a penis cup. Very excited about it.
It's a mushroom.
Sure.
Sure. Yeah.
So I'm really bad at these questions. But Sabro is more. Well, I can't talk to you about it. You know the answer.
I wouldn't give you the answer.
I'm gonna say Vero's going with all of the above.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking it's that.
I would definitely think aroma, but fruity flavor?
Maybe.
I don't know. Andrew, save me from myself.
Yeah, Andrew, just let us know.
All right.
What is this?
First, Sabro is a weird hop. And so we're trying to figure out where we could put it in some things. It's a New World hop. It has amazing coconut flavors, really, really bright coconut flavor. And we were like, maybe this could work in an export stout, because it's the past and present series. And an export stout would have used probably an old German style of hops. We wanted to bring it up and say, what can we do to make it more present, and that's why we added that Sabro. So it has a little bit more of coconut vibe to it, a little bit crispier, a little bit more fruitiness, and dry hopped it instead of putting it all in the bittering side, the hot side additions in the hop profile.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so the Sabro hops is it's notable for being complex with the fruity and citrus flavors. So it's got tangerine, coconut, tropical fruit, stone fruit, depending on kind of how you're using it.
Yep.
But so it is what A, B, and C on that question.
Correct.
All right. We have one more question, and I will make this one quick because I thought that was fun. So true or false, other half found their original Brooklyn space through a Craigslist ad.
Regardless of if this is true or false, it will be on the Wikipedia page as true.
I'm going with true on this just because it's.
I think so as well.
If it's not true, yeah. I think this is just to hear a story.
I think this has to be
This is true.
You probably got a couch for the main room from the same seller.
Yes, this one actually is true. My partner Matt, we were actually about to sign a location in Red Hook, which is a little bit south and west of where we are in Brooklyn. Yeah. And Hurricane Sandy came through, and the entire space was underwater. I'm like, we should not rent this place. And we were looking on Craigslist, and we found our landlord, and he somehow rented it to us. And we were very lucky. It turned into a great space, and we've done some great products there. It was 100% through Craigslist and fate, but I don't believe in fate, so who knows?
Yeah, exactly. I believe in Craigslist, though, damn it.
Oh, I for sure believe in Craigslist.
I just want to point this one back out, Ian. I know we pulled it up for a second, but we didn't discuss it. The missed connection section of Craigslist.
You found it in the missed connection section. You walked by my building today. No.
That would be a good one. I never understood that section. I never understood it.
The further you go into it, the weirder it gets too. That's the funny part.
Or the better. It depends on
the better.
So, Andrew, did you guys name any beer after this Craigslist story at any point?
We have not. You know, it's
misconnection.
Yeah, that probably might be a beer. It's always amazing to go through Untappd and be like, is this a beer name? And I guarantee you there's a misconnection in Untappd.
I'm
You're
sure.
like, damn,
yeah.
For sure.
Thought of it.
Yep.
Yeah, we've been trying to come up with beer names ourselves for and
it's been challenging.
Yeah.
It's not the easiest thing. It's not the easiest thing. Sam is amazing at it, but it also something that takes a lot of time, and it's hard. Some names just hit, and some names are just like don't work, and some names where I'm like, this is terrible, turn out to be the best names ever. So
That's
Who
always
knows?
funny how that works. Doesn't that just make you feel off at whatever you think about something when you're like, oh, this is the worst name, and it turns out to be the best one ever? You're like, well, I suck at this.
Well, yeah. Well, you don't know. We don't know everything, but
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's talk about this beer because this is very interesting.
I like it.
Yeah, no doubt. But
No, for sure.
you know, it's funny because until you actually mentioned some of the coconut that comes out in that, I mean, I always get a little bit of that flavoring out of some of these stouts, but once you mentioned it, I feel like that's all like suddenly that's all I can like smell and taste, which is weird. But not in a bad way because I'm a huge fan of that.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
I know.
So Andrew, tell us a little bit about this beer. Why is this? Tell us about the Export Stout world. Tell us a little bit about this beer in general.
Okay. I think that as we talked about the past and present series, we're focusing on old styles. This one was sort of Sam's baby, and he really was like, we should make an export stout. I'm like, how is this different than an Irish stout? And how is it different than this type of stout? And he's like, how is it different than a porter? And he's like, well, it's this and that. And it's roasty. It's a little bit more roasty and has a great body to it, but it's a little bit lighter. And it's I think it's sort of an amazing, just look about how beers like this influenced the culture of the Caribbean communities and how this is what they grew up drinking. And it's fun that this beer is popular, and we're brewing it again next week. So it's just, I think it was one of those things we didn't know if it would hit or miss, but we're happy that people enjoyed it and that we get to brew it again.
I think everyone likes this sort of thing because I'm currently in the Caribbean, and this beer tastes great in the Caribbean. Like, it is a stout you can drink hot, like when you're warm. It's what a lot of stouts I find you don't want a stout when it's
Wait a
hot
second.
out.
You're allowed to have stouts without marshmallow and pretzels and hazelnuts in it.
Well, let's not get out of hand. We can't all be tree
Who knew? Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I mean,
Andy and Katie,
I'm the guy who throws an event called Pastry Town, so I can't really throw any stones on that one.
I love it. So you said you guys are brewing this again, what, next week?
So it's released on the 10th?
Yeah, I think it's actually going in the tank on Tuesday.
Okay.
And that's why when you emailed about it, I'm like, oh, this might be it's fortuitous.
Yeah.
Nice. So people can go pick this beer up. Which location is it going to be at?
It'll be at every location probably by mid-April. So probably like April 20th or so. It'll be everywhere.
Cool.
Nice. I definitely go try this. This is this is great.
This
Yeah,
is
it's definitely fun to bring back some styles that aren't ubiquitous, and it's fun to see reactions from guys who love to drink beer and really appreciate it, and to have people be like, oh man, that was really dope. Like, I love your triple IPA, but it was nice to have like a 4% stout that wasn't adjuncted. You're like, cool, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
And I think that's the fun part of where the beer industry, as almost as a whole, well, at least in our area and a lot of the other folks we've had on, like, yeah, it's really nice to have an offering that's not, it's not your triple IPA, it's not your Belgian quad, it's not the craziest, fruitedest nut sour. It's like, oh, hey.
Or just like the milkshake thick
right,
IPAs or whatever.
No lactose, none of this shit. This is just a super clean.
Yeah.
This is another one of those. This is what beer should taste like to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
I am such a huge fan. I mean, having made the full circle of like starting with like Sierra Nevada Pale Ale and like working my way around, and then like I'm just back on like the lager stout like just beer train. So if you're looking for another suggestion,
he's not.
He's not.
I mean, he literally didn't even ask.
I said no, so that just means I get to give you whatever information I want.
You don't make a food or age.
I get to give you free advice.
I mean, no, you're wrong. The food or age thing is a big. We're a big fan, but another thing I really want to see come back, and it's maybe a little bit more difficult, but cask ales, and the fact that you brew it and then put it directly into the cask, and then use the what's it called? Like that where you like pull it.
Do what?
Would you stop?
It's like
those don't sell. We can't.
I know.
They sell when we come to your bar because we'll empty it.
I want them.
We make like one of those a year, and it is like always for a cast. Like there's 2 cast festivals in New York, and we make one, and we're like, this is so terrible.
And it makes me so sad because like it is. I mean, so it's a style that almost died in like the 50s, and then like Londoners like came back and were like, we're gonna like have this real ale like petition. And they had this like real beer like thing, and they like brought this thing back from just like extinction basically. And it is such a like a big style in like their pubs, and I'm sad that I don't go there ever to drink them. But
don't worry, we'll fill out a line in the Wikipedia about your disdain for Cask Ales as well. We're really building a profile on this Wikipedia. I'm excited.
I feel like I feel like the pro bono work is really going to go well for me.
Yeah. You're going to come out looking great. But, all right. So that being said, I got 2 things real quick. One, is there anything you've got coming up other than this beer, or any new openings, or anything you guys are excited about from the brewery end?
I think there's a lot of things we're excited about. One of our biggest things is that R&D facility we have at Domino Park that is putting out some great beers right now, but we have a couple new yeast strains that we've been toying with, and in the next I think there's one coming out in like about 8 weeks that I'm really excited about, called Tropics. We're nicknaming it right now. Okay. And it's this Berkeley, and it gives all amazing passion fruit characters, amazing tropical fruit, and I'm interested to see what people say. Like the triples were amazing, and we put out a 3% pale ale that was actually one of the better beers I think we made in a long time. It was just so flavorful, and it's just hard to get something that isn't 8% right now. So it was really cool.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
that is fun. And you guys are also going to be at the Untappd Festival in Charlotte, right, in June?
Yes, and we're going to be at the Untappd Festival. Unfortunately, I will not be at the Untappd Festival. That's the same day as we're throwing Green City Festival again, and that is the same day that Green City will be up here. So it'll be a great weekend. We'll be sending somebody down there, but we'll be up in Brooklyn holding it down.
Very cool.
Very cool.
And also with that being said, the second thing I just wanted to say real quick before we let you go and just bash this beer.
Oh, stop.
No, I'm just kidding. But before we let you go, thank you so much for being on again. Honestly, like I know we emailed back and forth, and you're in the middle of driving between cities and doing brewery stuff, and nothing makes us happier when somebody cares enough about their product to be on about it and have a good time talking about it. So just kudos.
Well, I appreciate that. Well, I know that this takes a lot of effort and a lot of time from you guys, so I'm happy to support it in any way we can. So next time you come by the brewery, I'd love to shake your hand and say thanks for having us, and I look forward to your future success and selling some more beers. That's about it.
Hey man, I love
appreciate it, Andrew.
You're getting a hug, not a handshake.
Yeah.
We're basically
yeah. So. She's doing pro bono work. Well, listen, man. Drive safe, get back safely. Congratulations on the newborn, and thank you so much again for stopping by, man.
You'll sleep.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Enjoy the beer, and we'll see you soon.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Awesome.
That's so great.
And honestly, it's always like a surprising thing for me for like for somebody to take that time when I know it's like part of their brand and part of their work as well, but still, I'll just take this from the car. I'm in between cities. I'm delivering and picking up, and
he's had the longest day driving down to Philly, driving back.
Well, there's another school of thought that says he has a newborn at home. This might be the only break he gets. That's always,
No, I'm going with the longest day ever.
I'm going with Jerk Store. No, we can't say that. Actually, that's copyrighted.
I want to talk about this beer.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's.
All right.
All right. So this is the part of the show where we actually review the beer.
Get the penis out of here, Tim.
Yeah.
We don't want to see that.
Tonight we are doing Past and Present by Other Half Brewing. It's an Export Stout, which I think we were all excited about. Yeah. And
the last Export Stout we gave a 5, so
I know
we're big fans of Export
Stouts, so that I can bring it down for the Wikipedia.
What?
Up until their time on the Wish You Were Beer show, this was a highly touted beer. All right, now, all right, Phil, you wanted to talk about it. Let's do it.
Yeah. First off, can art I love, and their other past and presents all look the same. Simple. Other half does some like this is actually a little. I don't know. It's not quite other half, but it is at the same time. But I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I love this beer. It's very good. I love like I said earlier, where like it's drinkable in high temperatures. It's the coconut is definitely there. I loved getting the roasty aspect of it too. So it's like it's almost like a little coconut coffee, chocolatey slightly, but it's mostly coconut coffee. So I'm a big fan of it. I'm gonna give this. Oh, it's. I know. I'm giving it a 4.75.
Nice.
And yeah, that's insane. It's very, very good.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's my score.
Okay.
Who's next?
Well, first off,
I like to point out that this is a comment. The penis havers on this show are jealous of a glass. Oh,
have you seen the size of it?
Thank you.
I mean,
I'm not jealous. I'm terrified.
Yes.
It almost hit me in the face earlier. All right.
Okay, so equally loving this beer. It is so in the same. We talked about how export stouts are thinner because they are, meant to be kind of enjoyed. That was attached. They are meant to be enjoyed like in a higher temperature environment. They've got more ABV to survive the trip. So this one at a 7.5 is pretty standard for that style, but it still has a lot of that like malty, roasty, stout flavors. The Sabro hops in this are super delicious and unique. The coconut is for sure there, but there is a slight like citrus kind of fruitiness to it that I don't know if it's necessarily tangerine, which is kind of one of the big flavors that usually Sabro hops are associated with, but there's something there besides like the toasted coconut. I am so torn on my score on this one. And I know that Phil was as well. I could tell.
I mean, we're going to write their Wikipedia, so let's just go.
I know. I'm going to give it a 5 because this is fucking delicious.
Okay.
And I'd rather just go higher than lower.
Boy, a lot of pressure.
Plus, it looks really good in this glass.
Stop it.
Not going to lie to you.
Turned on.
Jesus.
I mean, confused.
Yeah.
Daniel, you're up.
I also really enjoy this beer. And, everybody keeps saying, both in the comments, and we talked about it earlier, we had a similar style beer from Gun Hill that was an export stout. Not similar flavor profiles, but a similar make of
style.
Beer. Yeah. This is one of my favorite styles of stout in general anyway. They're delicious. They are thin. They're easier to drink, even though this one's 7.5%. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not like one of the like boozy stouts.
Correct.
It's like 11.
It's not boozy at all.
This is a crushable beach beer for me, bro. Like 7.5%. Come on.
It's crazy to think of a stout being like a crushable beach beer. That is what's 100%. So wild about this. I love this style. And I didn't know this style prior to kind of doing the show. Like I wouldn't have known. I just would have always seen the word stout. I just assumed dark and heavy.
Yep.
So, but continue. Sorry, interrupt.
No, you're fine.
I'm so excited about it.
I really enjoy this for a lot of the same reasons, but I actually get a lot of coconut out of it, which is one of my favorite things in a stout or a porter. Any type of coconut porter or coconut stout, the more coconut that comes out of it is better for me any day of the week. So I really enjoy the coconut aspect of it. It definitely got more like roasty and malty on the back end for me after I'm finished with it, but after I got about
to savor it.
I know. After I got about halfway through it, I started to get more of the roast and the malt into things, which was kind of fun because it did it built a little bit of a profile instead of just being all one thing, clean through the beer. So for me, this is 100% a 5. I'd probably give it more than that if that was an Untappd thing. But yeah, this is one of the best stouts I've had in a long time.
I would like 3 more of these.
Yes. Well, good news. Vero lives up there, and they're getting ready to release it. Vero says she didn't get much coconut, but yes, the roasty. For me, it's a 4.5, but only because I still prefer the Void of Light, and that's what I'm comparing it to. Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, but still a 4.5. Like,
yeah, exactly.
That was exactly it for me. I compared it to Dunhill's as well, and
yep.
They were so close, but I was like, I don't think that I can give it the Gunhill 5 that I gave because there was something telling me it couldn't do it. And so I had to drop it down just 1. But as a show score, I think it's a solid 5 show score.
Absolutely.
You guys gave it a 5. I would have given it a 4.95 if I could have. So
you can if you were a supporter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
You should look into that. So yeah, not a bad score at all. Fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Next up.
Well, yeah, what are we doing next?
Wish you were actually beer.
I think we're done. All right. See you guys.
Oh, we're back. No.
That was so loud.
I know. I went right down to the microphone. Oh, and I came back up, and then I went back down to it.
Back up.
So for those of you guys unfamiliar with the show, this is the part where we just take a quick second to sort of step away from the beer world, but keep it relevant and just discuss something from the week, the month, our lives, our childhood, whatever, that we wish was beer versus what it actually was. So I'll give you a really quick, easy example so everybody can follow along. Mine's quick and dirty. A recreational soccer league that I play in started back up this week, and it's been since COVID that it was available. So I played 40 minutes of recreational soccer in basically a beer drinking league, and I'm dead. It's Thursday. I'm still hurting. So I just wish at my age that soccer was beer because I'd be winning. I'm way better at beer at this point than I am at soccer.
So are you drinking beer while you're playing soccer?
No, not necessarily. Some other people are real serious about it. I had a few before the game, which, okay.
I cannot do any sort of beer and then do any sort of, I mean, I can already not do things athletic, but like put like beer ahead of it and it'll just all foam up inside me.
I need a couple of beers before I'm going to run for that length of time because then at that point it's like runner's high. My body just shuts down. I'm like, I'm only doing this for the next beer.
Well, it's basically because I used to play in the same soccer league until my doctor told me I couldn't. Right. But basically the like beer was the equivalent of like a couple ibuprofen. And so like it didn't hurt as bad while I was doing it, which is my doctor did tell me that was probably not good at all, actually.
Was that your wish you were beer?
No, but it's fine. Oh my god.
To me it's like the electrolyte drink All Sport. Remember that shit?
Yeah.
It was like carbonated Gatorade. It's like, what the fuck are you putting bubbles into your body prior to running?
You should get electrolyte.
That's just burping.
I don't think there were electrolytes in All Sport. I think it was just bubbles and sugar.
Well, I did not have a wish you were beer.
Billy, you're up.
For the record, I'm just gonna say the spider.
You wish the spider was beer?
Yeah, because then I would have had another beer
drop from the ceiling.
Yeah.
That may be your best wish you were beer yet. Actually, it's perfect.
I'm all for it.
Yeah,
okay.
We all got it. If we were here for this long, you got it. So my wish you were beer. I wish that getting sick was beer, because when you get sick, when you get a beer, you know where that beer came from. You know who gave you that beer. You can look at the beer and you can go, okay. I know what this is. I don't. As of now, this isn't COVID. So that's not where this was going.
Sure.
But I am sick currently. And I haven't been sick since COVID started. Like, this is like weird for me.
Yeah.
But I'm going, where the hell did this come from? It's like I'm on an island in the middle of nowhere and I'm going to bars all the time. What the hell?
Yeah. What the hell?
Wait, never mind. I know exactly where I got sick. But yeah, if at least like with beer, like I know the type of beer I got. Like right now, I'm just like, it's fucking COVID. Like, what else would it be at this point?
Sure.
I'll keep you updated. As of right now, it's
I'll
not,
keep
though.
you updated. Thanks.
Tested
Bill.
negative this morning. We'll see what happens.
Good to see you virtually. Yes,
Yeah.
sicko.
So next
Katie-
week might be a different story.
Yes.
Katie wishes her Orange Theory membership was beer because then I'd be dropping a fortune on something that gets me drunk, not feeling like I want to die. Cough, Phil sweatshirt.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Hence,
Phil sweatshirt.
the illness is why I'm wearing the sweatshirt, because
This makes sense.
Well, it started off. I was very cold, and now I'm like ridiculously hot. So
Very sweaty.
yeah.
This is. I wish my Vero says I wish my family dysfunctionality was beer. I would own the mallet. I love that this is going to continue to be a reference. If we don't get that motherfucker back on this show,
oh my god, we got to get him back on. 1 year
I'll
after
do
that
what I
episode
can.
aired.
I'll
It's
do
got to
what
be
I
coming
can.
up.
What are we doing next week? This is important.
This is exciting.
Oh yeah, especially I'm excited because we do have a lot of repeat viewers on tonight, so I'm excited to tell them all this.
Stay
but I want one
tuned.
of you too. Tiffany, you seem excited. Tell everyone what we're doing next week.
I
She
am.
has no idea.
Okay, so National Beer Day is actually April 7th, which is when this show will be airing next. And it basically is celebrating the end of Prohibition. So it is Bring Whatever Beer You Want Day, and let's celebrate the fact that we can drink legally.
And
It's
we
National
will
Beer Day.
drag you into the show. You tell us what
Oh, yeah,
beer
yeah,
you're
that's it.
having, and then we'll cut you loose and make fun of you.
It's a multi-person episode. We
Come
are
on.
inviting our fans onto the show.
Andy, you've
This
been
is
on
exciting.
before and Travis just trashed it. So
Do it again.
hopefully Katie comes on next time. Gabriel, you can bring whatever anime character you're dating at the time.
Or just that gorgeous sweatshirt and fire.
you bring
You
that
got
brawny
to-
man. You bring that brawny man. No, but so we're just gonna do a live show and we'll drag people in
Yep.
as need be.
We
And
should invite all of the breweries that we've had. We'll
we
just send it out.
100% will. We did that last time, but Mallet gave us a lot
So-
of pushback.
If you do want the link to join the show next week to get into the back end, send us a message on our site, wishyouwerebeershow.com, in the
Time out.
contact section.
If you'd like a link to get into the back end, make sure you message Phil directly. Do not call me.
This all sounds
No,
exactly
she
what it
was-
meant to sound like.
Actually, I think we might just go wild and just throw it back in the comments section next
No.
time and join. We got to
No.
drag them in.
No,
They'll just pop up at the
Um,
bottom.
no. So there's multiple ways to reach out to us. On our website, there's a contact us button. On Instagram, you can always message us. Facebook, Twitter.
We've obviously planned this extremely well that we're having this conversation
We're
live.
so organized. I'm trying to keep it all organized. Go to our website, fill out the contact us thing.
Correct.
We'll send you the link to join the show next week.
Yes.
Figure
That's
it
the
out.
best way to do it.
Okay.
We'll have the link. We'll have the
Agreed.
link by next week.
Agreed. All right. That being said, we are an hour and 3 minutes into this. And if you've watched any of these shows, I have to urinate like a racehorse. So here's what's going to happen. I need you to like and subscribe this page through YouTube, anywhere you can like and subscribe it. Like it when you're having a conversation to your mother about what you did this week. You know what I really liked, Mom? I like that Wish You Were Beer show. I had a great time.
You should
Maybe she'll tell her
share
friends.
it with your friends. Oh,
Correct.
Plant. Just not on the-
Anyway, make sure you like and subscribe. Follow us on all the social medias, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Tell your friends about us and come have a fucking beer with us sometime.
Yeah. And thank you again to Andrew from Other Half, and go follow
Absolutely.
Other Half. Find their beers. If you
Yeah.
haven't had an Other Half beer, you're missing out. They're so good.
They are so
So
good.
thank you for coming on. That was awesome of him. I love when a guest comes on driving a car. It's my favorite.
If he'd have cracked a beer, I'd have been like, this show is over. We're never going to get better than this.
I thought the
And
cat
join
was-
us next week. Join us next week for the National Beer Day show. I'm excited.
Yay.
Hooray.
Come on the show. Bring us your beer and your, I don't know.
And
I'm sick.
yourself.